First of all, welcome very much to the channel, Jobert, for joining us and from charge.co.za. So tell us a little bit more. Where did this all start? Where did it all came about?
Well, myself and my partner got a background in grid scale solar and wind farms.
Yes.
On the one hand, and there we dealt with the grid constraints and the generation constraints on the ESCOM side.
Hmm.
And on the other hand, we both had exposure to the motor retail industry.
Hmm.
And on that side, we saw how quickly the migration to electric vehicles was happening from the manufacturing side, where the top two electric vehicle manufacturers market capitalization is now more than
Yes.
the 20 biggest internal combustion vehicle manufacturers. So there's a natural migration there as well because the
Yes.
electric vehicle manufacturers are simply more profitable. So
Yes.
it didn't take a stroke of genius to put these two extremes together and see, but in South Africa, the electric vehicle revolution can never happen because it's going to add too much to the demand that's already exceeding the supply from the Eskom side.
Hmm.
And secondly, our national grid was never designed to deliver the amount of electricity that can replace fossil fuels, diesel and petrol,
Hmm.
uh, as the energy supply for mobility.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
all of a sudden you've got these huge demands in Pofadder and Bitterfontein and Beaufort West,
Yes. Yes.
where the grid was designed just for a farming community and a small town. So it's out of sync, and that's not
Hmm.
unique to South Africa. That's an international constraint, and
True.
all national grids are
Yes.
going to run into those constraints. So
Awesome.
we designed a solution that can address both of those,
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, where we where we generate the electricity on site and sell it on site. So
Yes.
that it was just a demand driven solution.
No, that's great, and I see that you guys is the fact that you're going about it with the fact that it's off grid and so forth is really an awesome venture that's definitely a need for South Africa. And then obviously will it be? I assume that it will be mostly off grid. You did mention to me something before about the generator side of how that will work.
The 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 problem with with solar solar energy and accommodation of solar batteries is
Hmm.
always what do you do in that 1 week where it rains the entire week
Yes.
and
There needs to
thunders
be
the next
backup.
day. So we oversize our solar and our battery storage to a
Mm.
certain extent, but that only gets you to about 86% security of supply.
Mm.
Um, so we install a generator fueled by hydrolyzed vegetable oil as
Oh,
a
wonderful.
backup to supply, just to make up that gap and take us to
Wonderful.
100% security of supply.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And then if it comes to with the customers, if it comes to payment, how will the payment options be working?
Uh, we 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 didn't want to go the route of issuing a special card
Mm.
because the last thing people need is another card and admin
True.
process.
True.
Um, so payment will be purely app and cell phone based
Oh,
and
wonderful.
as seamless as possible.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, and I wanted to get to the other one that we was also wanted to know about is the app side of things. You will know what's active, what's not active, that type of thing.
Well, first of all, you want to know where is the closest charge,
Yes, yes,
and
true,
then
true.
what is the timing on those chargers? We
Mm.
installing four dedicated uh, 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 passenger vehicle charge points,
Mm, mm,
one dedicated commercial vehicle charge point for specifically aimed at one, 3, 6, and 8 ton delivery vehicles.
mm.
And then we're also installing two 22 kilowatt
Awesome.
DC chargers for the hybrids and motorbikes and smaller vehicles.
Oh, that is awesome. And then,
And that and
yeah.
that'll be available on the app. We'll show you, you know,
Mm, mm,
in the simplest possible way. And we're going to use traffic light signage, red, amber, and green. Green, that it'll be available within minutes.
yes.
Amber, the guy is about halfway through his charge period.
Mm, mm.
Red, the guy's just started.
Wonderful.
And those will be visible on site as well, to be an indicator of where to queue, because the last thing you want is somebody knocking on your window and say, okay, how far are you with your charge?
It's true, true, true.
So you want to know where to queue.
And you do have quite a big system as well. You're talking about if that's 100 and not 150 kilowatts. Sorry, what's your max charge?
No. We're installing, we think the standard is going to be at least 150 kilowatt.
Oh, great. Okay.
So we're installing initially a 300 kilowatt charger that's upgradable to 600 kilowatt.
Okay.
With intelligent power distribution over the nozzle. So it's a central unit, and if there's somebody charging slowly, it'll allocate more power to the
Wonderful. That is wonderful.
to optimize it over the system.
That's awesome to know for the international viewers as well, to sort of know, what, because as you know, Tesla and them are so used to the 350 kilowatt type of charging. But with us, I think the 150 kilowatt is even fine. That's a good product to have.
What we're looking at is we think it's a requirement for the migration from internal combustion to electric vehicles,
Mm,
to first of all have a national network.
mm.
So we've identified 120 sites for initial development.
Yes.
That'll put you within 150 kilometers of an ultra fast charger anywhere in the country.
Yes.
It's got to be reliable. So you have to know it's going to be up, or you have to be able to check whether it's up.
Yes.
And it needs to be green, because in South Africa it makes absolutely no sense to trade in your internal combustion vehicle for an electric vehicle. And here I'm talking purely from an environmental and carbon saving point of view.
Yes. Yes.
Then charge it with electricity produced by Eskom.
Absolutely.
Because your carbon footprint will be exactly the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we see it as a network product. You've got to be everywhere. You've got to be available.
Mm.
You've got to be reliable. And it's got to be transparent. So that's the product we're trying to provide.
Oh no, absolutely, and that's absolutely a great product to offer, and that's definitely what South Africa needs. And then if it comes to the socket, it will be a CSS type of socket. That
CSS2, yes.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So that's at least sorted with what we've got in South Africa.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the standard in South Africa.
Yes.
Once again, I see Ford and General Motors have now standardized on the Tesla nozzle.
Yes.
In
Yes.
the United States. So once again, we're going to have two standards. The Americans going to
Yes.
have one.
Yeah.
The American, then the rest.
Yeah, no, at least there's so many converters and there's so many things available that you can buy extra anyway. So it shouldn't be an issue. But that's good to know. But when it comes to the setup, how it's going to look, what is going to be the experience, will there be small refreshments and maybe small stores and so forth as well?
When we started rolling out our network, we targeted existing convenience offerings, farm stores, and other convenience offerings next to the main roads.
Mm, mm.
but it quickly became apparent that in large parts of the country that's simply not available.
Mm, mm.
So there we build a 100 square meter farm stall with the normal with good ablutions and obviously coffee and refreshment offered.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
And the charges is also under a canopy
Yes.
because I think in South Africa with our weather and ample sun,
Mm.
it doesn't make sense to put them in exposed
Absolutely.
areas. I mean, you're just gonna if you stop at 16th of December in Beaufort West, the sun is just gonna fry you for 20 minutes.
No, no, you definitely need that. Absolutely, absolutely. And then I think the biggest thing is when is these?
So we've already identified 120 sites,
Mm,
of
mm.
which about 11 were rejected, and we're constantly signing new sites.
Sure.
And it's a fantastic. It's actually a rural development exercise.
I hear.
Um,
Yeah.
because we go into partnership with the landowner where he shares in the revenue of the sales on his land.
Yes.
So there's really an infusion of revenue into the local economy, and they actually become part of the energy supply chain.
Oh, that's true.
And if you I think the opportunity that not everybody realizes we have here is it is the localization, the democratization
Mm,
of
mm.
the energy industry on a massive scale.
Yes.
We might migrate the transport sector in South Africa, both passenger and commercial.
Mm.
The country will save in the order of 300 billion rand a year in foreign exchange.
Oh, wonderful.
And that money will all flow into the rural local economies. So can you imagine what the impact is going to be on those economies?
And I no, absolutely. And I think from a perspective of it becomes a interconnection type of situation where you know what I mean. Energy is getting connected to with things, for instance, like vehicle to home, vehicle to grid, and all of these technologies coming about.
Absolutely. Can you
Mm,
imagine once we've replaced our car park of 13 million vehicles
mm.
with 13 million vehicles, each with a 60 to 100 kilowatt hour battery?
It's
The
amazing.
energy storage, the opportunities for energy balancing
Yes,
is
yes,
going to be enormous.
yes.
So we see ourselves as an energy company.
Oh no, that's great, and I think from this will probably will happen still in the comments as well, that people will ask. But for instance, your shell and your engine garages and fuel stations and so forth, are there any interest as well? That's the other thing that people don't think about.
We've 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 tried with various filling stations.
Mm,
There's normally a complicated ownership relationship where you've got an oil company holding
mm,
the either the site or the retail license. Then
mm,
there's an operator, and
mm,
then normally there's a site owner as well.
mm, mm,
So
mm.
those are complicated.
Very complex.
They were initially rezoned and then subdivided from agricultural land. So their footprint is relatively small,
Mm,
and they
mm.
haven't got enough space to put up a solar farm to
Okay,
actually supply the chargers.
okay, okay.
Because the amount of energy that we will require in the long term for passenger vehicles is large, but for commercial vehicles is enormous. You need 75 hectares to do the generation.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
so we've tried. We'll probably do it at one or two, or in collaboration of one or two, or a handful of sites.
But then that will obviously be a small. That will probably be quite a small case scenario, if you could put it in that way, type of thing.
Well, in most cases, we'll put the canopy up with the charger and do the generations on a neighboring farm. Um, and the existing filling station will have the advantage of the additional footfall from the electric the electric vehicle customers. So they're going to have the advantage of operating the convenience sector, and we'll just sell the electricity on this.
I must say something that I've learned today that's also new from Charge Sortero today is that I was under the feeling that it was generated actually at site, this type of thing. It was not really a solar farm scenario. So basically what you are saying is that all of the connections will be basically solar farm generated.
Well, we've got a model with solar and then batteries, and some of the sites that offer the opportunity to do small hydro.
Okay.
We're not looking at wind at the moment because developing a wind farm is, from a regulatory and environmental
Yes.
point of view, is quite onerous and
Yes.
quite long term.
Yes.
You need to do an 18-month wind study, you need to do a bird study, you need to do a bat study, you do long-term monitoring of birds. And there's quite a big pushback against wind, not in my backyard.
True. True.
But we certainly look at that in future. That will come where
Absolutely.
we can connect to an existing wind farm, obviously. Or we'll give them an IPP where we simply enter into a long-term agreement to buy electricity from them. So there are opportunities in wind as well. So we're not excluding any of the technologies. The thing with solar is it's relatively easy, it's relatively reliable, it's very, very, very easy to model.
True.
Precisely per site. But we basically technology agnostic. So we didn't tie ourselves to any of the either charger suppliers or equipment suppliers because it's such a dynamic field and things change so quickly.
You need to be flexible.
We want to be as flexible as possible.
Oh, wonderful!
And our entire model is completely modular. So initially we build the smallest possible site that we can with 300 kilowatt peak of generation and 400 kilowatt hours of battery storage with a central charger with energy intelligent energy distribution. 5 nozzles, 222 kilowatt chargers, and 100 square meter farm store. So in future we can just add more generating capacity, more battery capacity, more chargers as the market grows.
Yes.
So we're going to continue with the permitting process. So we're always ready to expand because in most countries, the CEO of Mercedes-Benz South Africa told us their experience internationally has been the moment the sub 500,000 rand vehicles enter a market,
yes,
and there's a notional, reliable, national, ultra-fast charging network, the sales go from where we are now to 5% to 15% to 25% of the market.
Yes, and true.
First world, third world, that experience has been the same everywhere. So we expect exactly the same thing to happen in South Africa.
Absolutely. But currently, to come back to the availability, 6 is for when this will be officially available. For
we've got our first 4 fully permitted sites.
Yes.
We're starting construction in September.
Okay.
So we have to be operational by the end of January on the first 4.
Wonderful.
So we can test all our systems, test our app, test the payment. So initially we'll actually give the energy away.
Wonderful.
We'll probably charge them R1 just to test the payment. in order for us to test and get feedback from the actual customers.
Yes, and see how it goes all.
And then we expect the rest of our sites to start popping out of the permitting system, and then we're going to scale up construction to be to have our entire network in place by the second half of 2025.
Okay, and that for where will that locations be on that visit?
It's on at 150 kilometer intervals. You can look at our website. There
Yeah.
is a map, and it's distributed from Lucina to
Yes, I saw that.
Caledon to Springbok to
Yes.
Uppington. So we specifically set the minimum product needs to have a national footprint.
Yes.
Because people will only buy a vehicle if they know they can drive to Durban, to Joburg, to Lucina, to Springbok without worrying about charging.
True.
That's when we're going to see mass adoption of electric vehicles.
Absolutely.
So we see ourselves as a catalyst for that transition. Because most of the existing suppliers are all grid tied. Where they size constraints. In other words, you can only install chargers up to a certain size because that's what's available at those sites. It's going to limit growth in future because the grid can't deliver more power. You're subject to Eskom's inflation rate of about 20%.
True.
And you subject to load shedding.
Yes. Yes.
So if you've got 3 small kids and you're driving on your annual holiday trip to Mossel Bay, the last thing that you want to start off your holiday is to get stuck in Beaufort West for 4 hours with 3 kids and an angry wife.
True. That's true.
That might put a damper on your entire holiday.
Yes. Absolutely.
So we want to supply that security that you can rely on the network, you can check the network, it's transparent. There'll be a call center.
Wonderful.
So it's a consumer product.
Look, I think South Africa is extremely happy from an EV driver point of view that we're going solar as the Australians is doing. They've got a lot of off-grid charging as well happening there. I think it's a very, very important project, and I hope that there's a lot of growth, and I hope this just goes up and up, and we get the growth. And we get this out as soon as possible. I think that's very important.
I'm visiting Australia in a couple of weeks' time.
Okay.
Because they're experiencing what I suspect is going to happen worldwide. They already, even with a relatively low market penetration of electric vehicles they're already running into grid constraints. And everybody says everybody's going to charge at home, but rural grids were also not designed to cater for electric vehicles to deliver that amount of energy to each residential unit. So I think, like I said earlier, I think we're looking at an energy revolution, and it's going to have major impacts on the grid, on energy supply, on energy distribution, on our behavior, on how we view vehicles and travel. But it's the same, I see it on a revolution on the same scale as cell phones and the internet. So it's going to have major impacts on things that I can't even think of or predict.
True. Look, it needs to happen. It's now or never. It's otherwise we might as well just leave it all together. But it's a great thing that we've got you guys looking at the environment and so forth. So yes, but thank you very much for the interview. We will definitely stay in touch. We will probably visit one of the sites. We will get that onto YouTube as well. We will definitely have probably interview with you again and see how you guys are doing. But I hope that the viewers will be interested, and hopefully that you can get some contacts from this as well. You do say something about investment as well.
Yes, obviously we're a private company,
Mm-hmm.
and because the first 3 years is going to be, from a financial point of view, very onerous as we wait for the market to catch up, because it's a
Mm,
typical chicken and egg scenario. Do you build the network first, the cars will come, or do you wait for the cars to come and then build the network? We think you need to build the network.
absolutely, absolutely.
So we do offer people an opportunity to invest, buy shares in the whole venture,
Yes,
uh, because we think we're looking at this as an opportunity of a generation.
true, true. No, absolutely. Yeah, but it was lovely talking to you, and then we will be talking soon again. Then hopefully, and we will have some more updates.
Absolutely, and if people want to know more or want to get in touch with us, they can visit our website.
Yes, I'm going to put the link down below for the website, and I will put all your details into the description for sure.
Fabulous, Rufus. It was great talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Uh,
Okay,
Thank you.
okay
Bye bye.
then. Bye bye.